Black News Network, a crazy Christmas week. The Bishop Lamor Whitehead, the bling pastor out of Brooklyn, he made headlines earlier this year when he was robbed, unfortunately, at gunpoint during a church service. But today, he was actually arrested by federal agents charged with fraud, extortion, and lying to the FBI. If you don't know him, Whitehead was a money gospel person. He spoke about prosperity a lot and dressed exorbitantly. Just had all kind of labels on, designer, drove Rolls-Royces, did a lot of stuff outside of the church that was kind of murky, and it finally caught up with him. The charges basically say he's 2 counts of wire fraud, 1 count of extortion, and 1 count of making material false statements. He's looking at 65 years in prison if convicted. He is, let me tell you something. He is being indicted by the Southern District of New York Federal Court people, and from my understanding, they are good at what they do. They allege that the bishop scammed one of his parishioners out of $90,000 of her retirement savings and promising to use the cash to buy her a home, and instead blew it on the luxury clothes I was talking to you about. He then alleged that he extorted a businessman for $5,000 and then asked him for another $500,000, and in exchange for New York City government favorable decisions. So whatever that means, we're going to be looking out for the charging document, the indictment for Bishop Whitehead. The U.S. attorney issued a statement saying his campaign of fraud and deceit stops now. If you're willing to attempt to obtain funds through false promises or threats, they will make sure you face the consequences for your actions. And if you remember, this guy is just, I don't know. He was on the fence. He had a lot of media attention based on just how exuberant he was, just driving around and all the luxury stuff. I'll tell you what, he didn't talk like a bishop. From what I remember and from what I understand, the flamboyant pastor was an ex-con, and apparently he has run afoul of the law again. And if you've seen him online, you know what kind of time he's on. And oh, by the way, he faces a number of civil suits. He's facing a number of civil suits for people suing him. Also, he launched an unsuccessful campaign for a Brooklyn borough president. Anyway, and he's one of the former campaign workers say he stiffed him out of 56K. It's just a doggone shame. Like, why people are out there like this, using religion in the wrong name. If you're gonna scam, just scam, bro. Like, that's all. And taking people's money, good money, and then turning around and just buying stuff and not communicating with people when they ask. It was only a matter of time. And if you remember, there was another video of somebody confronting him in his church before, and it was a lady saying whatever, and he basically got in a physical altercation with her too. And it's just been a tumultuous year for the bishop, and I don't know if this is going to be a conclusion, but this is the next chapter. We're going to be reporting on this throughout its entirety. Black News Network.